Welcome back to another fun-filled news shooter live show here at the Teradek live show at the Vitek booth. Geez, that's a mouthful. Here at IBC 2014. Some guy here on my right, Rodney Charters, is
Hello,
joining
mate.
us. Ian from Letus, and of course, who is that on the end? Some random guy we got to fill up the numbers. Okay, so what are we talking about here? Ian, the Letus Helix.
Yeah.
Show us.
Show us what it does. What is this thing?
The Helix. We want.
Let me grab that.
Okay.
Try that. It's going to go slightly mad.
Okay. Initialize it.
It's another brushless gimbal, right, Ian?
It's a brushless gimbal
With a
and
difference.
Yeah, it's totally different axis configuration, axis orientation. We show off the first version in 2012. I mean, that's the only gimbal that doesn't copy from the the
And so
movie.
so since we first saw it, has there been any changes to the design?
It changed. The optical center is the same. The axis orientation is the same, but we use the different technology of the brushless gimbal inside.
Yeah. So you've gone a different way here. It's not an actual brushless gimbal. It's something different.
Basically it's the only gimbal in the whole market that thought of from bringing from the tripod how to stabilize a studio rig instead of how to put a handle on the helicopter's rig.
So why would somebody use one of these over, say, a traditional gimbal? What's the benefits of the
benefit
Helix?
is it works just like an action cam. It's right in front of your eye, and then if the same rig, if even this rig, if you do this out here, you can do like 3 minutes take maximum, 4 or 5 maximum. If you do it here with your lat supporting your tricep, you can do like pretty much like 3 or 4 the amount of times that you can, and then all of
Just by bringing it in close and
support it, yeah. And then also you can go low without adding without adding a third handle on top. You can drop it like line sight, going down, going up, like that.
And then to tilt forward and to tilt up and down, you're just turning these. Right?
We turn only one handle. You only need to turn the handle. It's very intuitive when you hold this. And right now we have a follow mode on.
So like other gimbals, there are different modes.
Yeah.
What modes do you have?
Follow mode right now is, or you call it majestic in movie or whatever you call it. And it's the only gimbal because it's built from the tripod up. That's the only gimbal you can put on the ground. You don't have to carry or stand with.
So Rodney, what's your take on
Try it, Rodney.
on gimbals and things along these lines? Have you used this sort of thing before?
Not personally extensively, but my son did buy Movi number 3, so he's been deeply involved. We have used them on occasion. Particularly, I like the little tiny guy for the pocket cam because it's a one-hand gimbal, and I see a lot of them running around here with iPhone versions. But this is can be upsized. You have plans for a larger camera for this, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have we just about finished with the version for Alexa. That the reason you don't see a lot of or any rig out there that for the Alexa is the axis configuration doesn't allow it, because you cannot hold the Alexa from up here and you can do it for more than 30 seconds because you just basically can't. With this axis configuration, it's very tight and low like this. You can do a few minutes take.
You've also got a Steadicam mounting option for this.
Yeah. Here's the ball bearing. We have the 4th axis. We call it 4th axis because it's help with the Steadicam. It will help up and down motion, so you can mount it mount it here together with a Steadicam vest and arm without the sled. You mount it on top of the arm, and then it's just like flow in front of you, like just like a steering wheel. And this is one of the very nice features. And then also the Helix. The power management is pretty cool. You know, they it runs all the power, all the SDI power, and underneath here is two more ports to feed all the front. It's very important because if you don't have those powers feed through, then you have to carry the power for your remote follow focus, the power for the for the Teradek or whatever.
So this current version, what sort of weight camera will it take?
The weight around for this around 18 to 20 pounds.
Okay, so that's a pretty reasonably sized camera you could put,
you can
on this rig.
It's more of the length of the camera that a problem than the weight. You can put more than 20 pounds if the camera is more compact.
So. Rodney, do you? A lot has been said about brushless gimbals, how they're going to take over the industry, how we're all going to be running around with them. You know, our good friend Shane Hulbert it seems to have one permanently glued to his hands nowadays when you see him in pictures.
Yeah.
Is that a reality in Hollywood now? Or?
I think with the appropriate camera, you would. I know that there are shows that are choosing to go that route almost entirely. I don't necessarily feel it's that much of a departure from good handheld work, which is more organic in its qualities. And some of the moves that these systems make are more in line with the floaty quality of a Steadicam, and I'm always kind of not necessarily in love with that idea, that it is just too fluid for its own good, you know. I like to feel a little bit of organicness. But having said that, this just doing stabilization on a Steadicam rig or on some kind of gimbal, pretty impressive. And all of this technology assists, of course, in sitting these things underneath helicopters. I mean, if anything, this show is an explosion of drones. Even if just the Ronin guys are the big players here, but they have constant stream of people there, and everyone wants to own one of those Phantoms. That's the reality. I know I got software programmed to start learning to fly because I know it's in my future. I would like to carry one of these and be able to fly it whenever I want to. Of course, not a rig this size.
Do you think quads are the biggest innovation here, or is it this stuff, or what?
Well, there are a great number of these around. You know, this is camera porn. This show, it's the best. Doesn't get any better, and it's more compact, and I have to say the food beats Las Vegas hands down. So if you're going to come to a show, you should come to IBC. It's all here in this one hall. There are 50 different companies that I would spend hours at talking to people.
This commercial break brought to you by IBC, the best show.
You know, it's like, it's great to come. I'm overwhelmed with some of the technologies there. I can't
So while we've got you on the couch here, Ronnie, what have you seen that stood out to you so far at the show?
Well, I love the Atmos stuff, I have to say that, but I actually just used 10 of these little Ninja Stars in India on a plate shoot. It was kind of a weird little gig that was fun to do, and I was able to deliver HQ 422 ProRes to the guys, the file meisters back home in Hollywood, and they were ecstatic to get ProRes. They don't want any other files. That's all they want. That's all the broadcast industry wants, and increasingly I suppose it'll be 4K ProRes files. But any other camera that spits out something else is going to need a Ninja Star or an equivalent of that to record a proper format. And they all moan and groan about it, but the reality is ProRes dominates the broadcast world. So that's it. That was exciting. There's some interesting new little lights that I've been looking at. Little Kickstarter pack from Scotland, the tiny little heads. They seem to be shipping their product now. Blind, have you had them on? They're all dressed in kilts, so you can't miss them.
I don't think we've had any kilted people yet.
You haven't any kilted people. They had a little tiny head, little LED head on a goose arm with a bunch of battery systems to make it viable. It was a Kickstarter project, and now they're starting to ship them. So that's kind of fun for them. DeFi seem to have a better, larger rig now, for stabilized rig. Atmos themselves have their 4K show gunners out now, and be shipping in a little short while. And that's a great add-on for anyone who buys an FS7 and wants to do ProRes. You know, so they certainly showed a picture of that.
Sony FS7, have you got an opinion?
I went to the Sony booth and I looked at the color and I thought, Sony. Unfortunately, you know, in the old days when we were shooting film, there were only 4 choices. You could go Panavision or Arri or Kodak or Fuji. And those were creative decisions. In some cases, even the camera department, the way your assistants related to the equipment. I was forced by my assistants to go to Panavision because they couldn't stand the focus knob popping off the rods during takes. You know, and it's really embarrassing if you got real stars and there's a lot of pressure and tension, and that kind of stuff doesn't work. And Panavision in those days, the focus was locked to the body, so it never broke open. And they said, dude, we're going to Panavision. We'll take you to Panavision. So I've been there ever since. Even with my Alexa rigs now, they're all Panavized. So I still get to use all their glass. Particularly their long 400mm 2.8 lens, their zoom, the beautiful, beautiful glass, and happy to do so. And also I think the glass still has lead in it, whereas a lot of these modern lenses no longer allowed to use lead because of EU restrictions. And consequently, they've lost a lot of their organic qualities that gave them the old anamorphics from Panavision, the C lenses, just spectacular, beautiful, beautiful, all that awkward stuff going on, this orb stuff in the background. And we just know that. I think the Zeiss primes cropped are as good as the new Zeiss anamorphics because there's no difference. I don't see any difference. If you're going to shoot anamorphic, I want to see weird shit going on in the frame. I want to be told and know that I'm in an anamorphic world. I just miss that. And also I think the new crop of super speed glasses from everybody are too sharp. You know, if you have a 40-year-old woman, even a 25-year-old woman will give you a hard time over the resolution that you can achieve on a skin and the tone of the face. And I think it's just unacceptable. The first thing you're going to do is chuck a very heavy filter on, and then you're going to be down to 1K again, and you say, why did you give me 4K in the first place? So I have a real problem with 4K. I don't think we need it as a storytelling mechanism. I think it's all about boys getting off on having sharp images. I know what that analogy is about, and I don't think it does the storytelling process any help.
Do you think it sort of loses a bit of the magic of the image when it's overly sharp?
Yeah, but then, having said that, most young people, and I'm talking from 10 years old on, who are watching drama, they're going to be watching on their phones or their pads or their laptops. They're not even going into the living room to watch it on mum and dad's HD screen. They've gone away from that. So for them, resolution is not important. These are the people who watch the programs. And I think that we are missing the fact that in the end, there's a great mass out there who want to watch programs in their own way, and we're not necessarily doing them a favor by making imagery that's so sharp that it screams at you, oh, look at this little imperfection in her cheek, look at the lines under her eyes, all this stuff. We photograph people speaking and emoting and relating to one another, and that's what we do. You have a wide shot every now and again, but it's all about faces talking, you know?
I have to cut you off, Rodney. We're running out of time, unfortunately.
You can stay with us, Rodney.
But you can stay here on the couch. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back very shortly.